Hello and welcome to Wikipedia Weekly Network, here where Albin Larsson and I, Jan Ainali, are editing Wikidata Live. How are you doing, Albin?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm getting better. I
Getting
have been
better?
sick, but and not totally well yet, but a little bit
Right.
better every day, I think.
Okay. How is
Yeah.
spring coming?
Uh, it's been raining today, but I see
Ah,
there's some buds are starting to
okay.
turn into leaves. So, yes, there's some
A
spring
little,
coming.
a little bit of greenery coming up.
Yeah. How much
Yeah.
snow do you have?
Around 1.5 decimeter right now.
All right.
It's so wide, so you need sunglasses when you go out. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you have planned for today? Will it be any ice and snow?
Yeah, actually, I had a lot of things planned. First, I had a tool which I weren't that happy with, so I thought I'm just gonna write my own tool. I realized like I'm not gonna be able to do that today if I want to go out as well. And then I had a tool which I really enjoyed working with, and like 20 minutes ago it said, "Nah, I'm gonna send you error codes from now on." But I have a bunch of maintenance queries to write on
Mm-hmm.
glaciers.
Mm-hmm.
But in particularly, I want to see if we can write queries to discover descriptions that we can improve, like descriptions starting with an uppercase letter when they maybe shouldn't,
Mm-hmm.
or just very, very common descriptions that we should
Mm-hmm.
maybe work towards making a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
And you?
It's sort of similar, a little bit on the maintenance side of queries, and probably also some editing, cleaning some data. Uh, I think I'm going to continue from where I sort of ended last week and do a little bit more, because what happened was in Gov directory, I noticed that when someone added uh, just someone being a mayor of a city without any start dates, it's actually popped up in our query. So I'm going to see if we
Oh,
can both find things like that and then also see, can we prevent that from happening?
right.
So that's my plan. So I'll see, press my share button there. Yes, there. So I'll start out here, and I'm actually going to just drop a thing from last week. Uh, so if you want to see exactly how this was constructed, you have to watch the last episode. But basically, what this is doing, it is we have a lot of different types of organization there, and this is basically just to seed my query so I get relevant results, uh, and then I filter it a little bit for old things. And if I just run this here, I think I will get 2,600 something organizations and the country. And I want to build a little bit on this. And I'm going to do similar to last week to make this as a named subquery. So I'll start with a new query here in the top. And I'm going to select the org, and I'm going to want the organization label as well. And then since we're going to work with like mayors and people, so we already know, so I'm going to want something like an office label, and a person. And let's get the person label as well so we can see that it is. These will be the main things that I will want. I'm perhaps going to add something more later. And then I will use this with thing again, which I'm actually going to embed the. Oh, I lost my this in. I'm gonna name this one. Last time I just as yes as O for organization. Here comes then our real query we're gonna work with today, and then we'll just include the O. And that will give us the same 2000 things. And then I think I want the, if I just take the service here, press Control Space to invoke the pop-up menu here. Let's just go for English with a start. And if I just close this now, I think this will just run and also get us a few empty columns, but it will get to organization labels. So just let's see that this works for a start. Yes, so 2,680 the same. And here we have the different kinds. I guess these are, yeah, we have Royal College of Music, and then I think these are like municipalities in the Netherlands and stuff. All right. Oh, I saw a duplicate already. Maybe I should put in a distinct here. That might make it fewer immediately. Oh, yes, a few more, or a few less, 3. Was just lucky to see a duplicate then. And now we want to get some persons and some offices. And here I'm going to head over to the Gov directory repository. And in our queries directory folder, I think is it under here? Yes. Here we already have, and this is a little bit small, and blue and white, not the easiest to see. But here we already have something that selects this. So I'm just going to copy this for now. So I know that we're also selecting it exactly the same way. Now this is all embedded in an optional. I'm going to remove that because I only want to work on the things that actually have something. So this is how we are selecting it right now. So let's just see what we get when I do this. Now I expect we will get a lot fewer because not every organization has who's leading it. And what this is actually is doing here is it that is, let's see, does it? Yes. So it looks for the organization if it has this property that says which kind of office is leading this organization. And we actually do have 2 kinds of these, depending on if it's more like an organization or election, where like a government. And then I'm looking for what it then are doing. Like, well, do we have someone who has a claim saying they're actually in this office? And one thing we added recently was to see that it is actually human, because we did have a few fictional presidents or ambassadors in Wikidata that showed up here in our query. And then we're looking that they're not having any end time and that the person actually is not dead yet. And then we'll see if we'll add a few more things here. But let's run this and see where our starting point is. So 1189, that's plenty of people. And then we see something here like a Minister of Defense. And that one is, of course, led by the Defense Minister. And right now it's Truls Lund Poulsen. All right. And then we have, and this will be plenty of them. But let's see here now. I want to see a few things more. So I'm gonna be interested in the starting time here. Like, do they already have a starting time or not? And since we don't know that, I'm gonna make that, instead of a minus, I'm gonna make that an optional. And then of course we need to change this one, because this is the starting end time. want the starting time instead, and I think it's 580. You can always hover here to see, yes. And then we need to change it here. And then we also want to select it in the top here. This will be the start time of their time they're holding the office. So let's run that and see if we see something odd or not. Should be the same since it's an optional, so the same amount, just getting some more data here. Hopefully, it's a bit to render. And now we see start time July 2011, so that's quite a long time ago. Maybe just sort it here on the start time, see if we... Oh yes, and then we do get the empty one first here, and that might be interesting. Now there's a lot of queue.
Yeah.
We only have the Swedish label. Let's add the Swedish label here.
Ah.
Let's for the Swedish offices.
The multilingual label can't be far away. No.
No, but I also think this one won't help, because if they're like generaldirektör, is
Oh, true.
not something
Yeah.
we would put in the general directory in Swedish. That we wouldn't put in the multilingual thing.
Indeed.
Let's see. There we go. So yes. So here we have a bunch of chair persons without any starting dates. And here we have some... I already see something here. Mayor of Vestnes, Mayor of Vestnes. All right. So that would be... Now, this statement is on the person. So let's open this person and see if we have any clues here. I'm going to change my interface to English for your benefit here. Date of birth 1853. All right. So this is a typical odd one we wouldn't want to see. So this person is obviously dead, but no one has added it yet. And because also, as we saw here in our query, we were trying to filter for people who has a date of death. But 1853, that person would be 170 years now, so we can be pretty sure that this person is dead. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to be bold and say date of death. I have no idea. We don't have a Wikipedia link. Then we can use this little thing, unknown value, which means that we know that this person is dead, but we don't know the value yet. And I'll publish that.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense for these people.
So that would make Mads here, Mads Ellingster, to disappear next time we run the query. Let's see the second person. So we had another one in Vestnes here.
Should we even write like a script which could manage this? Because I imagine this you could do for not maybe for all people, but for all that's relevant for Gov Director.
Yes, and we could also have, I guess, a filter for a birthday that is too far back in time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's start with that. That might filter out a few people immediately. So filter here. Then of course we don't select it yet. So let's do an optional for that too. Optional, and then almost like that, but this is death date, and I think it's just one before. Luckily, these were created at the same time, so if you know one, you can always try with another. Date of death, yes, there. But here we actually care about it, so we will need to... And I will call this DOB for date of birth. And now we want to filter for DOB. Oh, It's always tricky with the times, but I'm going to do a shortcut here just because I'm lazy. So I'm going to see if year of DOB, or will this help? No. Let's just go with DOB. This should be larger than, and what do we want now? Now we want some time here. And I don't know exactly how to write it. And how I usually do when I don't know exactly how something is, but I might have a clue of what it is, I'll go for the example and write something because it searches in these. So here I search for XSD, which I have something with the date. And let's see if this is something with death dates. So let's see if we have anything here. Is this a proper one? Why is it plus there? Do you know that, Albin?
No, but I'm not very good at those dates things. I've struggled before, live here for
What's
everyone to
what's
watch.
a decent year we could do? Cutoff date 1900.
Yeah.
Let's do this, and then we do 02, so we don't get everyone that is. I have the precision of the there.
Nicholas have a good point here that one would probably be able to specify the century. But
Yes, but
I
in
mean,
this case, we
with
don't
some
know if
people.
it's the 20th century because this person could have died in the 19th century already. Maybe they were just 30 years old because they were born in 1850.
Yeah, I too believe this is true, and I think the unknown value also indicates that we really don't know.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Well, sometimes you have some clues. So if you have more data and you feel that you can add it, I guess you should. So
yeah.
that's a good point. It's always about refining things. Let's see if this complains or if it actually runs. Now I guess 894. So either it took away a lot or it was actually really good.
Yeah.
So it took away 300 people or 200. All right, it's possibly. So let's see if we have any. Mayor of San. Yes. So this could be possible. Now we should. Maybe we should do. What would be. Here we have something again. Bigland and Bigland and Bigland. Three people. So let's check one of these here, see if we can add something more. 143. That's could possibly be still. Let's see if one of these Wikipedia articles says anything about it. 85 to 87 in Hadsel. Did I click? I clicked the wrong one. But either way, that was was a good click because here we actually got the date, so we can refine this one now with start date and end date. So it was. Let's check again. 85 to 87. Right. So doing some improvements, but that was not. I close this one and this one too. No. There. I was meaning to click over there. Oh, let's see. Magnhild. Born in 36. That would be very old. Let's check the Norwegian article. 81 to 87. All right, so let's add that. Knut, are you born 31, even older? These have 75 to 85. Didn't we just do 81 to 87?
Yeah.
Magnhild. This is odd because the succession box here says 85, but here it says 81. So I think we have to go back and fix that to 85. There's this one might get it from Wikidata when I just added it.
Yeah.
So let's see now. So Knut should have 75 to 85. And then we'll go back to Rig. There, and then Rig should have 85, I guess. So Wikidata. All right. Some fixing, and then did we have a third? Ragnhild, Knut, and Halvard. $33. They're all the same age almost. Much earlier, 66 to 68. Does it insist the same in here? All right. All right. So we've seen a couple of them here where the start time, we couldn't really filter them in a good way. So I wonder if start time shouldn't be optional. That's a good question. Let's do this one order on the office label and see if you have more duplicates and easier to spot. I'm just going to scroll by Sweden because I know that they are good, because we have a map with their party, so we have them complete on Wikipedia for a map on Wikipedia. So this should be all updated. So let's scroll by Sweden. And yes, and here we come to other things. No duplicates. All our general directors here. I think I also just recently looked them through, so they should be all right. Now the governors, they are also okay. We have a map of those as well. Now oh, here we have two in Almere. So and they both have start dates. So here we wouldn't even have caught them if we would say they are needing start dates. But since this one is later, let's check this one then. Probably forgot to add an end date when they stopped. Became a minister. All right. So this one should have a Wikipedia article where we can see it. January 2022. Let's see the Dutch article if it is more specific. That's at least month. 10th January. Burgemeester. All right. So let's grab that and put that as the end date here. Malformed. There we go. Could possibly go with an end cause. I'm not sure if what the one is getting a new job as a minister, if we have such a one. All right. And then I'm guessing that the one started just a year ago is the current one. Lots of Norwegian ones here. These were the ones we were just fixing. Oh, and here's probably the current one. Good. One with date and one without date. Let's check Ron here. Enter. I think that is a Dutch municipality. Several different here without dates. Let's see, when was this person active? First July 20. Oh, this was quite recent, but also short. Let's add those at least to the mayor here. Yes, we'll get an error here as well. Yes, July and date. June. All right, that's a little bit better. Cleaning up some data here. So I think at least this is an improvement of the general query, checking that they're not too old.
Yeah. I wonder what actually happens when there are more than one in this way. I imagine our query does a sample.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
because
think
then
so. It takes
maybe
the first
one
one.
could. Yeah, the sample in Blazegraph always takes the first one and isn't
Yeah.
random. So I wonder if we could actually sheet and use sorting as well to ensure that we hopefully pick the most recent one at least. If they're
And
missing.
what would you sort on then?
Yeah, that's the question. Potentially, you could sort on more than one value, like both the date of birth and
Yes.
and the no, that's the only one you need.
Yeah, the most
Um,
recent date of birth that will
yeah.
uh, probably be best.
The real query is a little bit complex. I'm not sure it's that easy just to sort them, but it
No, that's true. Yeah.
might be an interesting approach.
Yes.
Also to
Here's this.
enchant this maintenance query, so you can
Hmm.
just have done that from the beginning.
Let's just check here. We did an optional for date of birth for sorting here, but let's just add that to the query here. See if we have any odd date of birth. Like 1853, we would have spotted immediately. Well, now we're filtering them, so yeah, we will see if we have any like born 1900. Also, if the filtering actually worked.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yes. So if I sort here now, first we're going to get all the empty ones. And no empty ones. So 24. So this is definitely a few worthy of checking. Are they still mayor at the age of 99 years old? Seems unlikely.
Yeah,
So here I probably have a whole bunch of them that we should check. This one
indeed.
might be correct. But yeah,
What
all
was the
right.
name? It happens to be one that's very close to me, so I should know the person.
Thomas Norell. I'm not sure they are actually in Harpsund. The
They are, I believe, or at least, um, I mean, the vast majority of their staff is there.
mm-hmm.
But I do not recognize the name. Oh, it doesn't say.
Doesn't even mention it in the article.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Hmm. But
Guess
active
it's
quite
not.
late anyway, so
No.
it's not impossible.
No. And he seems to be around the age they usually are, if I say so.
Yeah, this is a little bit of the in the older. But I think that's enough exploration and data cleaning for today for me. I at least have something to make an improvement here. And
Yeah.
it's really quite basic, just checking someone it wasn't born too long ago. There's probably more refinement one could do here, but let's start with that and see.
I already want to write like a query to ask for all humans that, according to Wikidata, has lived more than 120 years and see what it
Yes, I think there are a
gives
couple
me.
of those queries. What
Yeah.
we end up with is that we have a lot of people that we don't know the uh, death
The
date yet,
precise
and we
date.
haven't
Yeah.
added it. But I guess if we go
Ah,
back
okay.
to people that are like supposedly 200 or 300 years old, we should perhaps routinely just add the unknown value to it.
Yeah, but I could also imagine there might be some real people that have existed. They aren't fictional,
Mm-hmm.
but according to history, they lived for 200 years.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
so yeah.
Yes. You could. So if you don't take too far back, but like I guess from
Yeah.
1500 or forward or something like
Yeah.
that.
Indeed. Um, a lots to do. Um,
Yes.
this happened to me earlier today when I tried to figure out what I wanted to work on, like rabbit hole after rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I want to head back to this good old list of queries. Let me get my windows ready. There I am. And this is my list of maintenance queries for glaciers. And I got really into the description and labels ones. We have two very basic ones, glaciers with the English description set to glaciers. This glacier, which I normally check every now and then to fix it because you can almost always produce a better description for a glacier than just glacier. So if we pick the first one and see what we get. Okay, so this is actually a great example because we got a pretty good description in German. So the German description is glacier in Victoria Land, Eastern Antarctica. And the English one is just glacier. But I imagine the German one, we can just take a look at where it is and construct a description like it and easily improve the English one just based on that. So it's one that I use every now and then, and we can see that because we only got 6 results. But another thing that's incredibly common, and I actually want to base from this one, is something that irritates me a lot, but no, it doesn't irritate me a lot. But I notice and I try to repair when I see it, is when we have a description which doesn't say glacier, but it says glaciers with an uppercase letter at the beginning. And it doesn't need to be glacier, but it could be any description. And I want to query for those. So we can't just match the string anymore if we do that. So rather we have to use regex like this, and we can do a ton of things with regular expressions. But to just check if it starts with an uppercase letter, I think we can go, first we need to say which variable we want to work on. Then we have this, let's see if I can get it right on my keyboard, this uppercase or this arrow pointing upwards. It says that it's the start at something. And then we can say if it is the start of any letters in the alphabet that are uppercase, then we match it and should return it. So I think this should be enough. Yeah. So here it seems like we got it right. We got ice sheet to start with a large I. This is interesting. It has 2 uppercase. Ice and sheet. Is it an article or is it actually... No, I think it's actually ice sheet. Okay. So that one should be fixed. Italian, that there we got like a name of country. Glacier off China, that might be a name as well. But then we got a bunch of these glaciers in that would be nice to just turn into lowercase.
Mm-hmm.
But this is actually a query I want to add to the collection of maintenance queries because, yeah, we got 300 results. We should really fix this. So, or at least the vast majority of them. So I'm going to add this to, oh, did it? No, I think I got it. So that's one I want to have. And
Why did the filter turn yellow in the query? Because filter is red in mine. Or is it red? It's just my screen.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So this would be glaciers with...
Tip here from Nikki.
Oh, that's nice. Because, yeah, I was wondering about this actually because I wondered if it would, for example, work with the Swedish alphabet. But I had no clue. So let's see here. /PLU.
Oh, sorry.
Fish. No, I got it. I lost my Windows. So let's give that a try. We still want to start at string. Then we had /p seagull wings. Was it that // No, it
No,
must have been
backslash.
the weird ones. Is it that? No. How on earth do I do this on
I
task
have
as
them
well?
on the plus, and
I got them.
there you go.
And PLU. So that should be it. Ah, great. We get the exact same number of result, I believe. Amazing. But it works with more alphabets.
Yes.
And this pop-up never works for me. I'm not sure what's going on there. Great. And there we go. I think it's the English. Well, it's not the label, it's the description.
Yeah, yeah.
English. Oh, letter. That's is the case we will have anyways. So there we got a new one. But I started to see a pattern here. So we see some that could be correct, or at least not wrong in the sense that the letter should be lowercase and we would be fine. But I see a lot of cases where we can assume that it should always be lowercase. So if I do, for example, string str starts, and if the description starts with not glacier as before, but glacier in, um, and as well as a space here, I assume, oops, a comma, we can, I assume that we can assume that it should always be lowercase. So here we got 214 of theirs. So in all of these cases, just lowering casing the first letter should be fine. And I wonder if we couldn't do this. I'm gonna scroll through them here. But yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
in yeah. So given this, I wonder if we could just create a new column here and transform them with regex
Mm-hmm.
as well, a regex for place. And oh, we don't even need to be using regex because we know that they always start with glacier in.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just do a proper place.
Yeah.
And then throw it to quick statements and fix all of those really quick.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we need to bind a variable here. And let's call that new description for now. Then we're going to modify them for quick statements later on. New description like that. And that is something we want to bind to. So here we want to do a replace. And we want to work on the variable description. I'm betting I might get the order wrong here, but we're going to start like this. And we want to replace the glacier in. I'm going to copy all of the string to be on the safe side. But the good thing here with the VDQS editor or the UI here, we can actually preview everything before we move it on to quick statements. And then we want to replace all of this with just the lowercase one. But I'm replacing the swole ones to make sure that a glacier in glacier wouldn't get lowercase.
I didn't select.
Oh, I didn't select. New description. And here we go.
Looks great.
Yeah. So no, it's just me scrolling fast, making it look wrong, but it looks correct. Okay. So this still needs to match some special keywords, and I'm pretty sure we need one called QID here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that should be doable really quickly.
Yes, and it's capital DEN for description in English in quick statements.
Oh,
EN lowercase, capital D lowercase EN.
oh, oh,
Other way around.
DEN.
Yes.
And that shouldn't be that one, but it should be this one.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
need to change it here anyway. There, I need to change it. And then we need the QID, and that should be lowercase, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, maybe, yeah. And so what we can do then, unordered bind
Yes.
as QID. And I think the easiest way to do this is with replace and turning the URI to a string. So we want to replace, and we want to turn item into string first, and then start replacing the URI prefix with nothing. HTTP // wikidata.org /. And I think that should be it. Let's see. No, not at all, because it's still
www.
BBB. Um, there we go, and
That should do the trick.
let's go for it. That should do the trick indeed. Okay, let's jump over to quick statements. Quick statement and see what's.
Oh, get another tip here from Nikki.
Oh yeah, that's super nice. Let's actually change that because it's a really good tip. So if I find my window once again. So what Nikki suggests is that rather than replacing this string, we just pick up the Sparkle prefix like that and turn that into a string. And if we want to reveal what's actually going on, we can print out the prefix up here as well, which essentially says that this is just a variable meaning this. But it's also as a URI, and here we just turn it as a string. That's a really good tip. No need to remember the VBB, among other things. I need to download this because I will need to copy the CSV version of this. You won't be able to see me do that, but I'm just copying the raw contents of the file with a very basic text editor. So there I go. Do I have quick statements? Yeah, I do have quick statements here. And let's log in. Yes. All right. Oh, no, I don't need to use my bot account for this. I have checked everything.
Yeah.
So pasting it in here. Let's give it a name. Glacier descriptions. Import CSV commands. Let's double check the description here. L, D, yeah. And I assume QID is not even written out. And it still looks good here. It has quoted it as it should. Let's import them. Does it look right? It says add here, but I think it's smart enough to know that it should modify. And this is not against commons, so I think we can just click run.
Is it though? Smart enough to modify.
What would it do otherwise?
Description. No, yes, description must be. I was thinking about the aliases where you can have several. Yes, description has
Oh,
to just
true.
overwrite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we should do something more, but I think this is it.
Yes.
So let's run it, and I have a name in the batch here, so it should be easy to recover if something wrong. Yeah, but it has changed it to lowercase here. And I do not run it in the background, so I actually need to sit here, wait for it, or move on to another tab. But this is really nice because now, oh, it starts going a little bit red here.
If you do the radio button in the bottom right, you can see the errors.
Uh-huh. Let's see. I assume there isn't a history here at all. No, of course not.
No. So I think this
Ah,
is.
I know what this is. It's because, oh, this is annoying. This is
There are
still the case.
several.
Yeah. Forbes Glacier is not unique together
Uh,
with the description. So if I
yeah.
lowercase that, it will be conflict with something else because the
Oh,
description wouldn't be
yes.
unique. And
Yes.
it's very common for Antarctica because they have a lot of glaciers and not that much information you can use in a description.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's really annoying that we use can't lowercase
Mm.
them in this case. The Swedish descriptions has bypassed this by just putting in the latitude and longitude. Say what you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's also very common with researchers. You can quite often see there
Wait,
an
that lat long
identifier.
doesn't seem like it's in Antarctica, though. Shouldn't it be something around?
No, it doesn't seem correct at all.
If you zoom out on the.
Oh, yeah, it's the degrees. Yeah, it works. It's not the latitude and longitude in I lost the name of the projection. It's not what you would normally write, so to say. It's the degrees.
Uh-huh.
Um, okay, but I think all of these cases, and I mean Hamilton glaciers. Of course, there are more than one Hamilton
Yes.
glacier in Antarctica.
I think we even looked at that in this stream before, the Hamilton
Oh,
one.
I can imagine. Same with Chapman, Clark here, and
Yeah.
this one is maybe okay, interesting, but
They're not
it
inventive
happens.
enough when it comes to naming them.
No, there wasn't enough explorers. Um, uh, that's that's a little bit annoying, but it's also a nice case for actually making these descriptions more informative. Like that
Mm-hmm.
German one we had that said, at least this is in East Antarctica.
Mm.
When it comes to an entire continent like that, I think it's quite useful actually. And it doesn't seem to happen much more here. It's interesting that we got this for this one in Indonesia because they do not have
Wait,
um, that many glaciers, so that it's a duplicate here is interesting.
possibly.
I wonder if this could have been an auto error. What happens if I try to edit this manually?
Or if you just search for the name, do you get several?
Yeah. Oh, no, that one I want to copy for search. No.
Good.
Oh, it gave me the Q ID here, right? But it doesn't show up on my screen. Item already has. I mean, this is a suspect one.
It wasn't far from the other, wasn't it? No.
No, but there aren't that many places in which you have glaciers in
Yeah,
Indonesia.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I imagine because the Orchard one didn't have any site links. And it might not even be current glacier. So if I go back once again, Yeah, we are very close. And as I spend quite a bit of time on glaciers, I can see that this is from an import, which is known to be a bit problematic. So I'm quite sure I could have merged those two.
Mm.
But I would probably want to have a look in that French article first.
Mm-hmm.
With that, let's see. I think this has completed, and we got
Yes.
205 done. So I think that was
Unfortunately, it didn't
really...
update the errors. I think you have to switch back and forth in the radio buttons to see the other ones.
Maybe.
You get 9 in total.
Okay, I
Yes.
got a few more. And yeah, there are a couple of more ones that are interesting here, I believe. Like Canada, okay, I could see you probably have 2 parallel glacier. Okay, it looks like all of the issues are the same at least, which is fine. But if I go back to the maintenance query we wrote, so that would be this one. We were on 305 or something like that.
All right.
And we are down, far down, and now we got more interesting issues actually. Like these are usually a lot more valid. Like this one should still be lowercase, but Italian and Swiss, Arctic, they are technically fine, but we would like to improve the description in general.
Mm-hmm.
And here we got those problematic ones that didn't update in the batch we did. So yeah. Oh yeah. I'm very happy with that one. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if I could actually turn this into a maintenance one as it is as well. So I could save this one for later. I think so. Let's see here. Aetius glaciers. This one probably we're gonna see more cases of in the future. But this one should always be true, and this one should also continue to be true. Although I would recommend people reviewing it. So let's do another one. It's also a maintenance query. I'm gonna add that to the bottom. I think that's a fine description. Query for setting common descriptions to lowercase. That's fine. Yeah. Let's see, what's the clock? I had another thing I wanted to work on. Okay, I'm gonna describe what I wanted to work on at least. Maybe I get some tips off stream. But a very common case with the descriptions are that they aren't very unique. So something that I believe would be very useful here would be to give me the most common descriptions, because for glaciers like in Antarctica, we would get thousands of descriptions that use glacier in Antarctica. And those are, in my opinion, the most high value ones to improve and make more specific. And therefore,
Yeah.
it would be very nice to have a query that just these are the most common ones when it comes to descriptions. So I wanted to do that as well today, but I'm not gonna be able to make it. But it's gonna be one for the future. And if someone has a query like that already sitting around, feel free to give me a ping somewhere. But yeah, now it lost focus here on me.
Yes.
You might have seen me doing
It was quite.
Jan trying to do this once. Like,
It was quite late when you lost it, so you had it most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to also point out here we got another tips from Nikki for my filter. to get the ones that are the filter I wrote was only looking for ones that had a birth date before 1900, and of course filter out everyone without a birthday at all. And if we add this little thing, and I'll just show that to quickly here, so how it would look in. So adding this, and these, I think we have shown this a couple of times. It's the or thing in the query service. So we will check if it's not bound, or this.
Yeah.
So we can see we can have a few empty, and if we remove that, we didn't have any empty, so we had the one with 1924 first. So that's a good addition to it, I think, because as we see here, we have a few without a birth date yet, date of birth, but they started their office in just a few months ago. So this one is probably correct.
Indeed.
It's sort of a maintenance query, perhaps, to go try to find the birth dates of these, but it's not also very easy for many of them, even if there are like ministers or general directors.
Yeah, I guess for like countries like Sweden, you could set up a maintenance query that would search in some official register.
Yes.
So you could generate a link in a column.
Yes, probably possible.
But that's very Sweden specific, I believe.
Yeah, yes. All right.
Clearly time to go to bed.
Yes. And I think now we will have a bit of a combination of things happening in weekends, travel, Eastern stuff coming up. So we'll have a few weeks off.
Yeah.
Possibly 3.
Yes. Very possibly 3.
Yes. But then perhaps we will be back as usual again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we already know some Wikimedia events coming up, so we might do some tamed episodes as well.
Yes. This might be in time for Earth Day when we're back. And then we also know there's the hackathon coming up in May.
Yeah.
So plenty of things. But also, if you have any wishes that you want us to take a look at, we're always looking for things to showcase.
Very much so.
All right. And I guess with that, happy editing.
Happy editing.